go and see Singapore, in Constitution of Singapore, it says you can only borrow debt for capital project that will pay itself back. So all the debts they've borrowed over the years were invested. They are proper. They know where it is. Singapore today is building the biggest port under the sea that they will launch in 2050. That's where Soludo is saying we should go. So if they borrow money to do that, you go and borrow money for shaku shaku dance. You are finished. So that is the crisis we face as a nation. It's not how much you have. It's what you do with it that counts. Today what you hear is revenue to GDP. Can we talk about cost of governance to GDP? That is the problem. Prophet Soludo has just told you how a governor, the wife had to work for them to be able to buy car. RAV4, yeah. You could see it. That is the situation everywhere. The cost of governance in Nigeria is unacceptable. It's the most expensive anywhere in the world. Just to use another example from the same America to show you, the Nebraska is not one of the big states in America. Nebraska budget this year is $12 billion. Nebraska is the only state in America where you have what you can call a single legislation. They don't have Senate, and this is the only state in America. Nebraska have 49 legislators. They are paid $12,000 each. They are part-time. $12,000 each. Nobody buys them a car, nobody buys them anything. Nebraska budget, I've told you what it is. So they buy 600 million, the 600,000 is the entire thing they pay to their house, as salary and everything. Nebraska budget is about 3 times the actual expended budget of the entire Southeast and Northeast. If you put these 11 states together, Nebraska is 3 times that. These 11 states have over 270-something House members, costing over 16 billion annually. Let's talk about cost of governance. I can tell you, having as the governor, nobody can tell me that our penny cannot do more than what it's doing today. And listen to where you have somebody who is owing a month's salary. He says he's owing only 12 and he wants to go again. And people are giving him an award. I watched it in TV. They said, you're owing 18 months salary. He said no. It's just about 11, 12. And he wants to go again. I saw one recently who said, oh, he's not owing any salary. He's only owing pension and gratuity. You saw it. That's only pension and gratuity. He's not owing salary. And he's saying that he's the best governor. And the lists are there. We are debating whether we'll buy this type of car. We're going to buy this type of house. Or like Soludo said, this appointment is this and everything. My dear people, like Soludo has said and Bismarck has said, the world today is like, I won't say it's on a fast lane, but the competition dynamics have changed. It's either you change or you die. It's that simple. You cannot continue to think you can compete today in a Formula One with a Molo driver. All of you end up in a lagoon. Professor Soludo, he showed clearly that the problem is politics. But for me, I was reading the Chinese ambassador's letter a few days ago. He said you have to look at where you are and be able to then say where you want to go. So for me really is that as Nigerians, as we look forward to what Professor Luda said that we should do, look at tomorrow, it is important that we look at where we are today as well. And what are we going to do with the people that are in Nigeria today? And then from them we'll lay the foundation of that tomorrow. Today, Nigeria is a home to the highest number of poor people living in any nation on earth. Every minute, 6 Nigerians fall into poverty. Just a decade, a few years ago, China, with a population of 1.4 billion, and India, with a population of 1.3 billion, had more people living in extreme poverty than Nigeria. By the year 2000, China had 500 million people living in extreme poverty. But by just adopting and strict implementation of Millennium Development Goals, they've been able to pull 439 million people out of poverty. Just in 2012, India had 276 million people living in extreme poverty. Today, they have less than 76. Nigeria now have more people living in poverty than these two big countries combined. And that is our crisis. And this can be collaborated when you look at our own HDI. If you look at the summation of human development is Human Development Index. This is a measure of how a system is developing. And it's categorized into very high, medium, and low. And if you look at it today, Nigeria would have over 157 in position, is among the low. And if you look at the critical components of it, there's 3 of them. One is life expectancy. The global life expectancy today is 75 years. Nigeria is 54. 20-something years below. In fact, Nigeria is the 3rd lowest. It is very clear. The second is education. Nigeria today is home for the highest number of out-of-school children, 13.2 million. In fact, if you look at what the minister is saying is correct, it should be about 15 million. And if you look at it, of all the countries I'm going to use to show an example of where we are and what we want to do, which is countries that are within the BRICS nation and countries that are within the Mint nation, Nigeria is the only country where you have such a low literacy rate of 51%. All of them are on the average of over 90%. Nigeria is 51. And this is because of our own gross lack of the impact of education, which is what the previous speakers were saying. Number 3 is per capita. Per capita, as the professors have mentioned, is a measure, is what you can call a measure of living, because it's a measure of individual wealth of any country. Nigeria, unfortunately, is one of those countries where the per capita has been falling for years now. In the recent IMF report, it says Nigerian per capita will actually continue to decline until about 2025. This is about poverty. If you look at security, Nigeria is now the 3rd most insecure place to live on the surface of the earth. We are now behind Afghanistan and Syria, and with daily killings, banditry, and kidnapping, it is being speculated that Nigeria will soon overtake them. Our underemployment and unemployment is one of the worst in the world. People will tell you it's about 25, it's actually over 30%. And with over 22 million young people in their productive age doing nothing, it is very worrisome. And of course, concomitant with all these devices we are seeing today, whether it's banditry, whether it's mass killing, kidnapping, and all sorts of things. These are what we are going through as a country. Our debt is escalating every day. If you recall, on May 1, I warned and cried about the debts we are piling. Because I was not an economist, because I hadn't had the opportunity of working in any of the Brentwood institutions, the Minister for Finance said, no, that we are going to spend our way out of recession. Today, all the economists at the Brentwood institutions has complained about our debt with little or nothing to show for it. What is even worse, the debt is growing daily, and consequently, the service, what we require to service it, is worsening. And we are still piling up more debts. It's still growing. There are some economists and some Nigerians and some people who say, oh, our debt is not our problem, our debt to GDP is low, our debt to this is low. I don't disagree entirely with them. Our debt to GDP is low when you compare it to other developing nations whose GDP is actually in the region of 40-50. But it's not about debt, it's what you use the money to do that is the crisis. Yes, you can say our debt is low, but when you have little or nothing to show for it, then you have a problem because you're borrowing for consumption. We have countries, when we said about countries that are wonderful today and good today, one of them everybody cites is Singapore. Singapore debt to GDP is over 100%. Over 100%, that's 115% of their GDP is their debt. But what is the difference? If you go and see Singapore, in Constitution of Singapore, it says you can only borrow debt for capital project that will pay itself back. So all the debts they've borrowed over the years were invested. They're proper. They know where it is. Singapore today is building the biggest port under the sea that they will launch in 2050. That's where Soludo is saying we should go. So if they borrow money to do that, you go and borrow money for shaku shaku dance. You are finished. So that is a crisis we face as a nation. Because of the way we are borrowing money and what we are doing with it, it is not impacting on our growth. We are one country that is borrowing money, it's not impacting on our growth. It's not impacting on per capita. Nobody is seeing it. We didn't see the bridges and everything that it was used to for. So our debt is worsening and we need to do something about it.